You're welcome once again. We were looking at the pandas and Python, how to use pandas and Python. Just as I said in our last class, that you can use pandas for cleansing your data. Pandas what helps in cleansing your data sets. It helps to it helps to cleanse messy data sets. Also, you can use pandas to insert rows, delete rows in your data set, and to do a lot of things. It's generally used for cleansing of data sets in Python. This particular training, I'll be using PyCharm. You can use any IDE. You can use Anaconda if you have, because um, Pandas is already installed in Anaconda. I tried using my Jupyter notebook. Currently that has been disabled. Um, I can install that in my Jupyter notebook. But when you look at Anaconda and some other software like Spiral, this like Spider, this IDE has um, this IDE has pandas in them. So you can use Anaconda, which has pandas already in it. So pandas is already installed in Anaconda. So you can use Anaconda to for this part of the training for pandas. Why I will be using PyCharm in this part. So now import pandas. And once pandas is installed, import it in your applications by adding import keyword. So once Panda is already installed, so I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know what you're talking. Let me find you keep it to yourself. Take me to count. So once Pandas is installed on your system, you can import it by using the import keyword as we've been doing. So you import pandas. When you use import pandas, pandas will be imported on your system. So import pandas, we start with it. Now, this is your data set, which you have created is a set. I know we looked at different type of data sets, and this is a set data set. So this is a data set, and this is a column for the data set, and this another column for the data set. And you give this data set a name known as my data set. So let's try running this line of code. So as I said earlier on, I'll be using PyCharm. You can use any IDE. So you can use Anaconda. Anaconda has Pandas already installed in it. So I'll be using that. I'll be using Anaconda. What I'll be using PyCharm, sorry. I'll be using PyCharm in. So let me import Pandas. So when you use the import Pandas, that import the Pandas. And I'm going to import Pandas. My data set, let me create a set, my data set. Okay, let's just give that a name. And hit the enter button. When you hit the enter button, that takes it to. Now let's call that class. It does just start a column. It is another column. Let me copy this. Let me copy that and then I just want to do something. We don't really need this. Let's assume I decide to do something like this. Let me copy all this. Put it here. Okay, let me run this. Okay, now you can see that prints this. You can see the class and you can see the other you can see class and you can see the other um the other you can see the other column that prints class and also prints the other column. But I don't want to use this here. So let's continue what we are doing. So you can use Anaconda in yours. You can use Anaconda in yours. So I do this. Now I'm going to type my data sets, okay? My data sets. So no, I'm going to use another, let me give it a name. Let me create an object. So pandas, I've already imported pandas. So I'm going to say pandas dot data frame. Okay, this is a method. That is a method. So I'll make use of the data frame. Then in this data frame, I'm going to paste. I'm going to paste this in this data frame. I'm going to copy this and I'll paste it here. My variable, I just keep that in name. Okay, and paste it there. So pandas.data frame, I say import pandas. I've set the top pandas as PD. So I'll be using PD here. So that's what I'll be using now, the PD.data frame. Okay. Then now I'm going to say print. Okay, let me use the print now. My var. Okay. Now you can see this, that I have this now. This my data set, and then another my var equals to pd.data frame. Now you can see when I printed this initially, this is what it gave to me. So I'm going to print this again, run this again, and print it. You can do this in another code at least. Now you can see that's it turned it into a data frame. So that it has a column class. This is the first column, and this is the second column known as person. Now in pandas, just as we've seen before, it starts with 0. This is 0, and this is 1, this is 2. You can decide to omit this index. If we want to do that, we can decide to omit that and just leave cars and passing. So 0 is the first row, while 1 is the second row, 2 is the third row. We should be familiar with this by now. So that also creates a data frame. Pandas is usually imported as PD. Pandas is usually imported as PD. Pandas is usually imported as PD. We can use Panda is usually imported as imported under the PD aliases, just as I did earlier on. Alias in Python, aliases are an alternative name for referring to the same thing. So create an alias with the as keyword while importing. Just import pandas and use the as keyword to create an alias. So now the pandas package can be referred to as PD instead of pandas, just as I did earlier on. So we have another example here, import pandas as PD. Okay, then I print my var. So you want to print the version of pandas you are working on. You want to know what version of pandas you are working on. You what to do is this, the version string is stored under the underscore version attribute. So you can just use that. It will print, as you can see, import pandas as PD. I want to see the version. Want to see the version of pandas you are using. You do print PD dot, because we said import pandas as PD. So now we are now using PD dot underscore version underscore. Then to give you what version of Python you are working with. So import pandas as PD, and I decide to do this. Now you can see print PD dot underscore, and I run this line of code. But when I run that line of code, it gives me the version of Python. It gives me the version of Panda I'm working with. It's 2.2.3. So that's a Pandas series. What is series? A Pandas series is like a column in a table. It is a dimensional array holding data of any type. It is a one-dimensional array holding data of any type. So just that is a column in pandas. That is a series. So create a simple pandas series from a list. Excuse me. import pandas as PD, we have A equals to this. Now, this is just an array, a one-dimensional array. Now, we now say we just give it a name, this PD.series. Okay, now this will make use of the Pandas series, make use of the Pandas series, make use of the Pandas series method, and we'll bring in the A. So now print this, and you can see it will create a series in Python. So let's try that and see. Import pandas as let's call this equal to series. That's A. So let's call that as A. Now let's say print my var. Okay, print my var. Okay, or want to print that my var, printing this my var, and let's run this. Now you can see that gives us just one-dimensional array. So that is a series. So a series is just a one-dimensional list of numbers. It could be up to 20, it could be 30, it could be 100, just a series. It just gives a sequence of number. That is a series. Now, label. Let's see label in Python. If nothing else is specified, the values are labeled with their index number. Now, if nothing is specified, we don't specify anything by default. Pandas is going to use label just as we've seen. Pandas was making use of label 0, 1, 2 to identify that. But once you use the first value as index of 0, the second as index of 1, and so on, this label can be used to assert a specific value in Python. For instance, you can say Python print my var 0. It will print that particular series for you. Okay, let's okay, for instance, we say print my var. If we don't want to print everything, just say Python print my var, print, let's say 0. It will print the first. That's going to print the first. I print the first series. But we say print my var 2. That is going to print the third series. Now create labels with the index argument. You can name your own labels. Okay, let's look at this. My var pd.series, because import pandas as pd. Then we have this, and we set my var pd.series, and we're looking at my var pd.series. Now we want to use the index. Now when I say a, instead of pd.series, into bracket a. Okay, pd.series. Now when you look at this, you can see what we did. Why we have this. So we just say pd.series will bring in a. Now we are passing an argument in this series method. So we are passing other arguments in it. Now we pass the index arguments. Index argument said equals to, we have this x, y, z. In other words, instead of pandas giving us 0, 1, 2. It's going to give us X, Y, Z. Okay, they will now say print my var. Okay, we're going to do it. Let's just see how we're going to do it. Okay, let's assume I have 1, 2, 3, okay, and 4. And I said my var print pd.serials. Now print pd. Here I'm going to pass the argument, the index argument. Okay, I'm going to pass the index argument. I'm going to say the index argument equals to. Now instead of using 0, 1, 2, I can say index argument use let's say I. I have up to 4. I could do that and I say print my var. Okay, now I want to print everything and I try printing this. Let's see what Python is going to do. Now you can see it's giving me Roman figure 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because I've passed the index argument in this particular method series. So I've passed the index argument. So Python is going to print that using that. If nothing is specified, Python is going to use the default value of 0, 1, 2, and the rest. Okay, now let's see, return the value y. Now I want to return just a specific, I want to return just a specific index. To return just a specific index, what we do is just print this, that one we're going to say print that. Okay, that will just print that particular index we specified. Now you can see 2. Take note, I put it inside the open and close brackets. It's inside the open and close brackets. Okay, take note of that. This is a key value object as series. You can also use a keystroke value object like a dictionary when creating a series. You can also use a key value object like a dictionary when creating a series. Now create a simple Pandas series from a dictionary. So now let's use a dictionary object. We have import Pandas as PD. We have this calories day 1, this day 2, day 3. Then we have my var equals to pd.series. That's bringing the calories print my var. So we've used an object, the dictionary object we created. We use the dictionary object here in order to create a series. So let's quickly do this and then okay, import pandas as PD calories. Okay, equal to Okay, let's say the 2 equals to 380. The 3 yeah, equals to 390. Yeah. So the PV series. So you can see what we have here.